I honestly want to be an open book here. Just get out the things that I want to get out there, because I really think that I don't have anything to hide at this point of my life because I want it to be open. I want someone out there to be guided with whatever that they are watching in this channel because it's my life. And as I'm trying to improve my storytelling, I am gonna say that I'm not really the best guy that you can ask for advice and all that stuff when it comes to overall well-being. I'm still a man that's trying to become a man, a boy maybe trying to become a man, to be a fully developed, human being, as in the process of getting to know myself, making mistakes, doing something in my free will and my freedom, and also just exploring things based on my interest. If you happen to cross out or watch this video and this channel, maybe you don't know me, but hey, I'm Byron, and I usually yap a lot ever since back in 2021 I started my podcast. Well, it's not really a big podcast, but it's more of my personal journey and just the things that I am, going through as this life goes. And I just made that podcast to really enhance and talk to camera and just improve my English so I can articulate my thoughts, maybe. Like what's in my brain right now is trying to deliver that with precise words that I can use, increase my vocabulary, and maybe, connect with the viewer, connect with you guys. So I just want to be creative as I want to in this, process of communicating. I'm not probably making the best videos, quality videos on YouTube out there, but maybe soon. And I'm just documenting my life, each and every phase that I want to share into the world, because the mistakes that I made or that I am able to share here is one thing that I want to share, because some point you can help people by just telling them what you did wrong, right? So for me, it's probably the first thing that comes into my head when we are talking about that, is that don't waste your younger years into, you know, uh, probably bad vices, because I went there, I experienced that, like alcohol, cigarettes, and all these stuff. We want to explore, right, as a teenagers. So yeah, I got there and I managed to really get out. And that's one thing, because it's not really a regret, but it's a lesson for me. Because if I am guided onto the things that I have potential, like if someone knows my potential at my younger years, like a high school or grade school, if someone is able to guide that and maybe help me with the decision making as a child, my life could have been better at this point. But I don't blame what happened to me, the people around me, but I'll take that as my lessons, because everyone has their own head start at some point in life. I have my own head start, you have your own head start. We all have different head start in this life. Or some people have even the may not have the head start that we are talking about, or they don't even have the head start to start with. I if you get that point, some people are born with the generational wealth, so that's their head start. So for me, I'm grateful to have this kind of head start, that my mother is, was able to support me even though she was a single mom. And yeah, single parent. So he was able to support and, finish me through college and all that stuff. You and just basically live life, help me live my life. And everyone has their own starting point, right? So that's what I'm talking about here, because everyone might be unfair. Life is unfair, and they are really digging deep to that, and it's really true to life that's unfair. But if you look it that way, you have to have the perspective of something, that you are looking something forward, maybe looking something for the betterment of yourself, personal development, as maybe I talk a lot in this channel, because I really like talking about growth in the past, in the present, and in the future, on how can we apply those, circumstances and challenges that we are able to face, and just basically discuss the things that we went through. It's basically you plant a seed and then you watch the tree grows as time goes by. That's how life is. That's my perspective to that. You just have to have the patience with yourself to water the tree or the plant every single day. Show up for yourself in a ways that you can appreciate. Sometimes we are beating ourselves. Sometimes we really don't like what we're doing, and then just boom, self-sabotage and all that. But it's okay to be human. Like, breathe, inhale, exhale, connect to the nature, do the thing that you love, talk about it, just like what I'm doing. So you know, basically that's just vulnerability of me, or if you can express yourself to that or expose yourself to a state of vulnerability, if that's the correct pronunciation, because we all need to be vulnerable, maybe to some people, maybe to some extent with ourselves. We talk within ourselves, we journal some things and all those stuff, the tools that we can use to disconnect within ourselves. So yeah, I hope you learn something from that. I'm just basically grateful to reach this stage where I'm able to consistently talk in English, but one thing that I really want to overcome is that whenever I do something like this out in public, is that my friends doesn't really use this type of uh language, but yeah, I need to overcome that whenever that I am with them. So yeah, that's another challenge, and just basically get out of my shell, like comfort zone, because talking like this in the camera is, one thing for me that's I've been doing since I create content online, and it's just leveling up at this point. Maybe one day I can talk to a stranger, record it, whatever, man. But I really like, you know, talking to strangers, even though it's not recorded, but you want it to be recorded, but sometimes it's just the privacy of them, like just enjoy the conversation. You will never meet them again. It's just a conversation that will, it's gonna be a memory when it comes to when time goes by. So yeah, I really like yapping. It really, releases some hormones with me. I feel like relieved, ready for the next day, maybe something like that. But basically, I'm telling here, documenting it every single day, even though just on a yapping form. And just, that's just one thing to look forward to, review the day, maybe reflect on the day that you've been through today. What are the highlights? What are the lowlights? You know, that's one thing that I really want to just get back every single day, because tomorrow is another day, it's a different day from today. It's just, at this point, bro, I don't feel life is repetitive, because I know for a lot of guys out there, it feels repetitive. But whenever that you are excited to wake up and just, look forward into something bigger than yourself, is one thing to look forward to. And that's not repetitive, right? Even though I think it's really a blessing to be waking up each day knowing that life is gonna be or can be taken away from us. And that's one solid thing to, like, to stay grounded, to stay humble whenever that you achieve something. That's one thing to hold, because one day you will gonna leave all these achievements, the money, and all the properties that you have. One thing that's gonna stay stay within the people is that how you treat them. How did you, manage to be human to them? How do you love, express, and do all these things? That's just, for me, it's a wonderful life to live. So, express yourself, and yeah, I hope that we are able to share something. We are able to learn something. And take care. Peace out.